Good morning, algebra students. Today we're going to talk about nth roots. This is lesson 7.4. I believe you're already aware of that finding the square root of a number and squaring a number are inverse operations because they will undo each other. Taking that a step further, the inverse of raising a number to a nth power is finding the nth root of a number. So for example, 4 to the third power is 64. That means the third or the cube root of 64 is equal to 4. 2 to the fifth power is 32. So the fifth root of 32 would be 2. And this number that's inside the square root sign, which is called the radical sign, is called the index. So another example of this would be like 3 to the fourth power is 81. Therefore, the fourth root of 81 would be 3. Now, we've had the perfect squares up on the board all year long. These are the first 15 perfect squares. And now we're just going to extend this to the perfect cubes, which are 1, 8, 27, 64, and so on. Why is that? Because 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 2 times 2 times 2, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, and so on. And we can take it even further to what happens when we take each of those numbers to the fourth power, and the fifth power, and the sixth power. And these are ones that I would like you to be able to kind of recognize that, hey, this is a perfect cube, or this is a perfect fourth root, or perfect fifth root, and so on. So when I'm asking you to do the cube root of 64, we're determining what cubed is 64, which on this chart would be right there. So the cube root of 64 would be 4. The fifth root of 243, we're looking under the fifth power. I see 243 right there, and that would be 3, because 3 to the fifth power is 243. Sixth root, we're not going to do a lot of them that are this big. That's the biggest one we're going to do, and that's going to be 3, because 3 to the sixth power is 729. Cube root, looking under the cube, there's the 125, and that would be 5. If you're unsure mentally, and let's say we're doing the cube root of 512, you can do this on the calculator by going to the math function, and you will see a cube root button in there. It's also the same as taking 512 to the 1/3 power. That would give you 8. So what happens when we involve variables, because that's what we do in algebra. So when you have a radical sign like this with an index of b, this is the root, and this is the power. This is equal to x to the a over b power, the power over the root. So when I do the cube root of a to the third, that's the same as a to the 3/3, which is 1, and that would be simply a. The fourth root of x to the 8th power over root, and that is x squared. Fifth root, here's a couple different variables. Y to the 20th, z to the 15th. So it'd be 20 divided by 5, which is 4, and 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So putting this all together and simplifying these roots, this first example, if there's no index, there's no number here, we assume that to be a 2, which means we're talking about the square root. And the square root of 121 is 11. And now the square root of x to the 4th, power over root, would be x to the 4 over 2. And then y to the 16 divided by 2, which would be x squared, and y to the 8th. This one here, again, there's no index. We assume it's the square root. The square root of 49 is 7. It's going to be x to the 4 over 2. So it'd be 7x squared. This next one, we're doing a cube root. The cube root of 8. Start thinking, start with 2. 2 cubed is 8, so it's 2. And then we've got a to the 6 over 3, b to the 12 over 3. So it'd be 2a squared, b to the 4th. Here we've got a 6th root. This is going to be d to the 24 over 6, x to the 36 over 6, which is going to be d to the 4th, x to the 6th. Always dividing the power by the root. If you have an example like this, you can say that we're taking all of this to the 24th power. So we would have all of that to the 24 over 3 power, which is 8. And so in your assignment and in your practice today, we'll be asking you to simplify expressions like this. You should continue to rewind and re-listen to the video, look at some of the examples to help you guide you through the practice.